stop comparing yourself to others. Too often, I compare what I have, who I am, or where I'm at to others. But what we see on social media is just the surface of people's lives, not the full picture. They say that comparison is a thief of joy. So rather than spending time comparing, spend time being grateful for where God has you right now. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode. Today, I'm going to give you 3 points on the danger of comparison. Point number 1 is that authenticity creates inspiration. I was on my way home today from shooting some content for a client, a buddy of mine that we actually went to high school together. While I was shooting, we had a bunch of inspiring and motivating conversations. He loves to be the best version of himself. I love to try to be the best version of myself. And so we just relate to each other in a lot of different ways. Entrepreneur, athlete, faith-based man. And so it was a really good conversation. And on my way home, I was riding in my car. If you don't know, I just bought a new car a few months ago. It's a 2017 Accord. I used to have a 2011. So it's a big upgrade for me personally. And it's so easy on the outside to look and be like, oh, Jace just bought a new car. He's running a business. He's posting content. Life must be great, right? Like he must be doing really well, man. But from that's outside looking in. Inside looking out, it's a used car, right? And the last few days I've been having trouble with my AC. I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm going to take it. Thank God it's under warranty. But today on my way home from my client shoot, I was sweating my absolute butt off. Like so desperate for the air to turn on, man. I was laying hands on my AC. Like I was desperate, man. I was hot. And it just made me think of all the people that see me on social media and might like envy me. Please do not, but envy me and thinking just because I bought a car, or I just got engaged, or I have a business, that life is good and life is easy, man. When I was struggling, like I felt desperate, honestly, man. Like it was terrible. A few years ago, my old car, it didn't have AC for like 2 months. And it was like prime heat in Louisiana, June and July. I would roll down with my windows down and called it hot box. Because it just felt like I was in this aluminum box and I was microwaving myself. Right? I later learned that hot box is a different term. And so I had to be careful when I called it that. But it was just because the AC didn't work. And so it brought me back to that moment. So it was low-key kind of traumatic because like the reason I didn't fix it 2 years ago is because I couldn't afford it. Thank God I'm in a different position now. But it just made me think, like I said, how many people could easily envy me if I don't say, hey, this actually kind of sucks. See, but life I feel like sucks so much more than it's like great, right? There's great days and then there's just normal, mundane, get through it days. And today was one of those days, man. And so I was thinking about my content and how amazing it is to sit here with like a decently cool setup, a nice camera, some lighting, and how this can be high quality and it can be so easy to get obsessed with the quality of it and lose the authenticity. And man, I prayed to God. I was like, Lord, please let me never lose authenticity. Lord, let me like cling to authenticity more. Right? I want you to know the struggle that I'm walking through. A few years ago, I want to create content that I would have enjoyed 2 or 3 years ago. And 2 or 3 years ago, I would have loved to watch someone who wasn't necessarily already where I wanted to be, right? I don't want to watch a ripped man tell me how to get abs, right? That's unobtainable. I don't want to watch a millionaire tell me how to build a business. That feels unobtainable. But if I could see someone who was just a few steps ahead of me, a few years ahead of me, and be able to watch them through their process, them share every single bit of information they could, that would have been so much more inspiring and motivating to me. And my goal with my content is to document my journey to hopefully inspire others. And so that's why I came up with the video title today, to stop comparing yourself to others, because the second point that I have is that comparison is the thief of joy. Right? I don't believe that's biblical. I think that's just a saying that we have, but it's so utterly true. Like if you compare yourself to where you're at to where someone else is at, you are like, that is so surface level. You are not accounting for every possible scenario. You're not accounting for what their parents did to set them up. You're not accounting for the blessing that they're having. You're envious over their blessing. That's a sin. Also, I want to warn against comparing where the devil has someone else to where God has you. Because oftentimes, even this reminds me of King David. David was anointed to be king and then spent many more years being a shepherd, many more years to actually being a harp player for the king. And so just because he was anointed to be king and had that potential inside of him didn't mean that God was just going to give him that right away, right? He was going to refine him. He was going to make him into the person. He was going to make him into the person worthy of wearing the crown. He just wasn't going to give it to him, right? And so where you're at right now, God is super intentional about that, right? And so it is your job to be grateful for where he has you, but then also steward well with what he's given you. So if you're praying for more finance, but you're not stewarding your finances well right now, why would God trust you with more finance? If you're praying for a serious relationship, but you don't know how to take care of yourself, why would God trust you with another person? Right? All these different things. If you're praying for a house, but you don't take care of your apartment or your room well, right? Steward where God has you, right? Be disciplined where God has you, right? Because a lot of times the devil will just give people all they want, right? Even with Jesus, when he tempted him, he was like, I can give you all the kingdoms of the world. I can give you this. I can give you that. And so just because someone has that does not mean they have more favor or less favor with the Lord, right? So just be careful, because that could easily be where the devil has them and you're so caught up in trying to compare where they're at to where God has you. Just play your game, man. Put your head down and focus on your story, your cards. No one is coming to save you. You're not winning the lottery. None of that's going to happen. Your uncle isn't hidden and rich, right? You are going to have to figure this thing out yourself. So man, just buckle in, lock in, put your head down and get to work, right? The third and final point that I have for you is that what you see online is only the surface. I kind of touched on this earlier, but I really want to hit it here. And this is kind of accountability, right? My goal with my content was I always wanted to be authentic and raw, right? And so I even considered like vlogging at one point, just showing my entire life. And that was a little invasive, and it also takes a lot of work, right? But I can still sit down here with you daily and give you the tips that I'm learning and that I'm walking through. And I pray that you're able to comment or reach out to me. I love it when I get comments or DMs of people genuinely sharing their life and their story. It's like, wow, like I'm actually talking to people. And my prayer, like I said, I want to create content that Jace 3 years ago would have loved. And I want to inspire and motivate and speak to exactly where I was in my mindset. And I just know even today, I struggled with comparison, comparing myself to others, comparing myself to where I thought I would be, comparing myself to where I want to be, right? And the truth of the matter is your situation is not going to change by luck or coincidence. You're going to have to choose to change your situation. And so I pray that you continue to number one, draw near to the Lord, right? Focus on your relationship with God, because that makes everything sweeter and it makes it all worth it, right? So when you are going through trial and tribulation, you understand that there's a purpose, right? But then you're also able to lean onto the promise of Galatians 6:9 that says, do not grow weary in doing good work, for at the proper time you will reap a harvest. And so God is doing his thing behind the scenes. But if you have nowhere to put your faith, man, it's going to be desperate. It's going to be hard. But if you're able to say, you know what, God, I'm going to focus on the inputs. I'm going to do what I got to do, and I'm going to trust you with the output. God, I'm going to do everything I can so that you can do everything I can't, right? And that is the beauty of this life. You have a unique life. You have a unique set of skills. You have a unique set of circumstances that God has put onto you. So do not get caught up in comparing your gifts, your abilities, or your situation to others, because God thought it would be beautiful to paint you the life that you are currently walking through and living. And so give that to him, surrender that to him, and get after it. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions or prayer requests, please leave them in the comments. I respond to every single one. And if you are seeking a deeper level community, I'm considering building something that we will have weekly live talks, weekly challenges, a private chat for us to communicate daily. If that's something that's interesting to you, you can find that link in the description. God bless.